Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple, and white, uh, 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 all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of One West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. This is the ISUPK Killeen Sabbath service. And with that, I Mijum, Wapenya Hakwadam, which means to stand, turn, and face the east. La Yashala. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malatwaka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya'ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hiwashinawa, Mayan, Ra'a, Kaya, Laka, Hamalatwa, Waha Allah, Waha Thaparab, La'ai Walamyum, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. This is the prayer of the power of the Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Babakosha, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Call Makalah, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha Matazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwiyum, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawa, Hata Ma'ala, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha'ala, Waha Bayaf Saparium, Barak, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Ishai Ayanya, Ahahariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Ishai, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Ra'a, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaafka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'athai, Wa'id Awalam, in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. This is Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, Wa-Al-Thashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Abu-Yabika, Yahama Yawan, Wa-Mashanayaka, Sha'a-Wa-Ra'ash Al-Imaka, Ya'ara'am, Wa-Sawad, Wa-Ya'ata Tazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakyadum, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Na'atazawa, Lakabya, Salaki, Lakabwa, Alyaka, Barya, Yakarthwa, Ahalya, Adawam, Wa, Yashama Alyum, Mawa'aba, Waha Agarium, Salaki, Wa Hagarium, Gabal, Wa Amawan, Wa Amalak, Palashah, Am Yashabya, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam Hayawa, Zarawai, Labenya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabian, Banakar, Kwayashwan, Na Shamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ira, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathumwa, Na Dayamabwa, Ka'arab, Wa Kazahaba, Wa Kazabak, Waka Tazamana, Kal Nasakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarashai, Lanawa, Lanawa, Naawa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathumwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Waka Lahaba, Thalahat, Haryum, Khan, Tharadatma, Basa Irika, Wa Basawapaka, Tha Balahum, Mala'a, Panyaham, Salakya, Palawan, Wa Yabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Wa Yabalwa, Aya'ai, Wa Yakaparwa, Wa Ya Abaiwa, Wa Yadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawah, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza, in the English. Keep not thy silence, O power, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, and fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou whose name alone is Yahweh art the most high over all the earth. This is the prayer of the blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazabaya, Alawap Yahana, ha Alawapyum, ha Saranyum, ha Quatazayanyum, ha Kayalyum, wa ha Akwapian, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, the water Amun. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. Yeshabium, Salakia, Sar, Ashabium, which means to turn and sit. Shalom, Israel. I'm about to get into it. Second. All right, so we'll be starting off in Exodus 28 and 10, going to Exodus 29 and 16. I believe where we left off, the Lord is giving instructions to Aaron and his sons, the house of Aaron specifically for inside of the tabernacle in the holy place, in the most holy place, the tribe of Levi in general, Salakia, the tribe of Levi in general to serve in the tabernacle and to serve as the priests, but the house of Aaron specifically to deal with the most holy vessels in the holy place and the most holy place in regards to the ark of the testimony, which was in the most holy place. So we're going to go ahead and start in the Hebrew, Exodus 28 and 10. And Salakia, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Brakatham to the brothers, and Shalom, Yahweh Shemal, Atham Ba'ashem Yahushai to the sisters. All right. And I think the next thing that we're going into is the priest's ephod, which is it was like a plate of stones, 12 stones that were on the chest of the priest, of the high priest, and how that was structured. If y'all have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll be utilizing the Bible Hub app. Exodus 28 and 10. All right, in the Hebrew, Shishah, Ma Shematayim, Al Ha Aban, Ha Akath, Wa'ath, Shamawath, Ha Shashah, Ha Nawah, the Rayam, Al Ha Aban, Ha Shanayat, Kata Wallah Dathayim. Verse 11. Ma'aisha, Harash, Aban, Tha, Wathaya, Hatam, the Pa, the Ha, the Pa, the Path, Ath, Shanyaya, Ha Abanyam, All, Shamath, Banya, Yasha'ala, Ma, Sabath, Ma, Shabai, Tazawath, Zahab, the Aisha, Atham. Exodus 28 and 12. Wa, Shamath, Ath, Shanya, Ha Abanyam, All, Ka, the Path, Ha, Apad, Abanya, Ha, Salakia, Abanya, Salakia, Abanya, Za, Quran, Salakia, Za, Quran, La Benya, Yasha'ala, Wanai Sha'a, Aharan, Ath, Shah, Mawathayim, La Penya, Yahweh, All, Shanya, Kata, Payan, Salakia, Kata, Paya, La, Zakaran, Exodus 28 and 13. Wa'ai Shayath, Ma Shabbat Taza'ath, Salakia. Zahab, Exodus 28 and 14. Wa Shanya, Sharath, Zahab, Tahawar, Ma Gabalath, Ma Gabalath, the Aisha, Athum, Ma Aisha, Ibath, Wana, Wanatha, Ath, Shara, Salakia, Sharath, Ha, Ibath, Ha, Ibatha, All, Ha, Mashai, Bataza, 28, Exodus 28:15. Wa'aishath, Kashan, Ma Shapat, Salakia, Ma Shapat, Ma Ma'aisha, Kashab, Kama Aisha, Apad, the Aishanaiwa, Zahab, the Ka Thakalath, Wa Agar, Wa Oragar, Salakia, Wa Ora Gaman, Wa Aragaman, Wa the Wa La I Shanya, Wa Shasha, Ma Shazar, the Aisha, Athawa, Exodus 28:16. Rabba Wa'ai, Yaha, Kapawal, Zarath, Arakaiwa, Wazarath, Rakaibawa, Exodus 28:17. Wa Mala, Salakia, Wa Mala'ai, Salakia, Wa Mala'ath, Bawa, Mala'ath, Aban, Arabaya, Tawarayam, Aban, Tawara, Adam, Pa Tada, Pa Tada, Wabarakwath, Ha Tawara, Ha Akkad. All right. In the English, Exodus 28:10. 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 of their, well, I'm gonna read a verse above. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones and grave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone according to their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engraving of a signet. A signet is like it's either like you know how you have to go to a notary. A notary is like a living signet, but it was
it's like a for brothers that have the rings with the dawah on the rings. It's not just that though, but they also had like these like metal. I don't want to use the word cylinder, but that's all I can really come up with right now. Cylinder, metal cylinders. They're maybe like this big, and it would have the seal, right? The seal of Zion, which is which is Dawada. Um, and they would take a document or a scroll, roll it up, and they would pour wax on like maybe like 7 points of the scroll. So like when you read in Revelations, it talks about how nobody was worthy to open the seals. The seal is the would be like the wax on the document that the seal has to be broken for you to open the document, right? So it could be 7 wax points or even 1 to close the document, but it will be sealed with the king's seal, or I don't know if the priests were sending out messages that way, but that's what it's talking about, like the engraving of a signet. The signet would be the engraving on the metal cylinder or on the ring. All right, that's what it's talking about. And thou shalt. So he's saying you're going to engrave these stones in the same way that you would engrave a signet. I mean, and really, now that I think about it, each tribe or tribal head or chief of the tribe most likely had a signet with their tribal signet on it, whether it was Judah, Manasseh, Levi, Issachar. They each most likely had a signet to if they had to send a message to another tribe. We wasn't all in each other's backyards. It was like we had our own territories. So if we had to send messages to each other, we would send it with the marking of a signet to as a verification of who it came from, and who specifically is going to, right? All right, so he's just saying this: the same way that you would engrave a signet is the same way you need to engrave these stones with the names of the children of Israel, each according to their signet, meaning each according to their symbol for their tribe. All right. Thou shalt engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in ounces of gold or ouches of gold. Or it's saying emeralds of gold. That's I'm looking at the side concordance. It's saying emeralds of gold or ouches of gold. Maybe it just means like a shape. I'm not sure. Maybe like how an emerald is shaped, of gold. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. This is good night, man. It's so many like people out there, Christians out there, that want to like have this like replacement theology, right? I get into these like these I don't even want to call them debates. I get into these conversations like on Instagram and Facebook, and just letting Christians know of other heathens that salvation is for Israel, and then they want to say because Israel had Christ crucified, that the Lord brought it to everybody, and then now the people that believe on Christ are the new Israel. No, you see, even to the point of the priest's breastplate, how much the Lord wants the name of the children of Israel to be remembered. When we're sending the prayers to the Most High in the beginning of the Sabbath service in Psalms 83, paraphrasing, but it's saying that they wanted the name of Israel to be cut off, right? And people would say, well, no, everybody know who Israel is. No, they don't, because they don't know who the true children of Israel are. Even with Amalek, the so-called Jewish man that has taken our identity and is living in our land, that's also a part of them cutting us off, right? That the name is cut off, right? Because General Muhammad brought out something heavy in Scripture breakdown, where he said that the true children of God, the true children of the Most High, wouldn't need missiles and weapons and political espionage, you know what I'm saying, and NATO and alliances with other countries to defend them, to defend the nation of Israel. Israel didn't get into excuse me, the so-called Jewish man did not get into the land of Israel through the Lord. He got in through the land of Israel through Britain in the United States through the Balfour Agreement. And they were armed and equipped with weapons. These are Europeans that came out of Poland, Germany, Russia, you know what I'm saying, all those European countries, and they went to war with the with the so-called Arab man, Ishmaelites in that land to take that land. I forget what the name of the war was called, but you know, that's the proof that they're not the children of God, because the children of God, they never listen, when the Lord brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, what weapon did the children of Israel use? The Lord showed his power. You understand? And that's, you know, like General Muhammad was teaching, that's the faith and patience of the saints, man. You understand? The Lord, not right here, you see that the Lord is wanting to have it be a memorial to the priest and to everybody that sees the priest, that everything that's being structured and set up is for our sakes. That's why when the Lord said the world was made for our sakes, it's not just talking about the planet Earth. It's talking about our culture and society was made for us to be on top, man. You understand? So don't let nobody try to, like, salaki, for lack of a better phrase, but trick you out your position psychologically. You know what I'm saying? That's what Christianity does. It tricks you out your position if you a so-called Negro, Hispanic, or, you know what I'm saying, or a native, you know what I'm saying, of Indian descent, man. You understand? They try to make you feel like you're the Gentile, you know what I'm saying? And we were, in one regard, spiritually, you know what I mean, by taking on these other customs and cultures, you understand? But if you're a so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you are the descendant of the biblical Israelites of antiquity. You understand? So don't let nobody trick you out your position and try to convince you that there's a new Israel, that God has forsaken his people. And I'm gonna read something real fast. I'm gonna get back to it. You know what I'm saying? I got time today. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be rushing like how I usually do. But I'm gonna read something real quick. I'm gonna get right back to it. Read something in Jeremiah. This is for the people that say that nonsense that the Lord went to go find somebody else. All right, get out of here, man. I mean, this is Jeremiah 31, and what's so heavy about this scripture is that, for y'all that are in the school, and if you're not in the school, you understand, but you observe classes, Christians' main point about them being part or engrafted in or part of this new agreement with the Lord is the new covenant. But the new covenant is expressly described as being made with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. There's nowhere in it where other nations by name or in general are mentioned. It says specifically who the new covenant is for. And then under that, the Lord, that's why I think it's so spiritual and so heavy how the Lord, does things, because then under him saying who the new covenant is for, you understand? Which is common sense, because if you had a contract with somebody and they were in breach of the contract and you decided to make another contract, why would you go make it with somebody? Why would it have to be a new one with somebody else? If there was an old one, then you'd be making the new one with the people that you had the old one with. That's just common sense. But this is what the Lord says in verse 35, after he says that the new covenant is for the house of Judah and the house of Israel that he's going to make with them. This is what he says. And this if anybody ever tells you that there's the church or the church of anybody that believes on Christ is the new Israel, just go to this scripture. You understand? Jeremiah 31 and 35. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon, and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea, when the waves thereof roar." The Lord is letting you know who he is. He's saying the creator of heaven and earth, right? And the seas, right? The Lord of hosts is his name. That word host means armies, saying he's the Lord of the heavenly armies. You know what I'm saying? The Elohim, the angels, all right? If those ordinances, meaning that when as long as you've been on the planet, is from a kid up, I know. I mean, when I got older, I used to kind of think about it like this is kind of crazy. But as a kid, you never like woke up thinking that the sun wasn't going to be in the sky. You never went to bed thinking that the moon wasn't going to be in the sky or the stars weren't going to be there. As long as we've been on the earth, you look up, the stars are up in the sky. That's where they at. The moon is up at night, and it's going through its different phases. You're seeing the half moon, quarter moon, you know what I'm saying, crescent moon, full moon, right? Blood moon, right? Those are the ordinances, the phases that it goes through. You're seeing the sun, appear to rise and set every day, right? So when he says ordinances, what he's saying is that how I've structured the solar system, you know what I mean, the heavens, the clockwork that they're on, right? The timing, the ordinances. If those ordinances, if how I've commanded and structured this solar system, the heavens, right? This is what he's saying. If those ordinances depart from before me, meaning that if all of a sudden the sun stops shining, if all of a sudden you don't see the moon anymore, if all of a sudden the stars are not in the sky anymore, think about that. Think about how, and we don't even live that long. We may hit 80 to 100 years, but think about how every day you've gotten up, you've seen the same thing. It's before you. It's before the Lord, but it's before you too. He's saying, if those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel, then the children of Israel, the descendants of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right, also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So, like, do you understand, like, the impact and the heaviness of what the Most High is saying? He's saying if the sun, moon, and stars go away, then you'll stop being a nation before me. So how in the hell can some heathens who claim to believe on Christ, you can't even believe on Christ, you know what I mean? I mean, you will eventually, you know what I'm saying? By I don't even want to use the word force, but you have no other choice. It'll be life and death, right? Either you're going to serve Israel, because in serving Christ, you have to serve his government, serve his people. Either you're going to serve Israel, and that'll be your option for life, or you're going to, like Isaiah chapter 16:12 says, that the nation and people that will not serve thee will perish and be utterly wasted. In the same way that the Lord told us, I give you life and death. When the Most High made his first covenant with us, he gave us life and death. We broke that covenant. Then he sent his son, Christ, and he gave the same people, an option of life or death. If you believe on me, you'll have everlasting life, right? But if you don't, then you're going to die in your sins, right? For the, us being a light to the Gentiles, I'm talking about the heathens. To the heathens, that's your option. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get upset when y'all see, these heathens out here kissing boots, we're just giving them the offer of life and death. You can either choose to serve Israel, to acknowledge that your fathers have inherited lies, that you inherited lies, and what you were told was a lie, because our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Not only does he deceive the whole earth, but he deceives himself. You can come into that understanding and come into the knowledge of the truth, that the children of Israel are the chosen people of God, and that's who Christ died for, and that's who he came to save. You want to bring up the blessing of Abraham on, how through Abraham shall all the nations be blessed. Do you know why? Because the through Abraham came Isaac, and from Isaac came Jacob, and from Jacob came the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and out of those 12 tribes, out of the tribe of Judah came Christ, our King. And what's the significance of that? How are the nations of the earth going to be blessed from that? Because why? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. And because Christ is not sitting on his throne, and the 144,000 are his government out of the 12,000 out of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That government, the earth will be at peace. The earth will be in order, and that's how the nations are going to be blessed. Not because you gain some type of salvation or you become the chosen people of God. No. The nations are blessed through Abraham because of the children of Abraham, the children of promise. That's the blessing. But the covenant, the service of God, the promises, the adoption, right? The giving of the law. Whose are the fathers? As Paul said, and as of whom concerning the flesh Christ came, that belongs to Israel, to the Israelites, man. You understand? So, you know, you nations, you are the heathens who watch us and hear us speak. You want to get mad and say we're twisting the word, is the Bible out of context? No, it's just that you learned Christianity before you ever read the Bible. You understand? You never read in the Bible that Mary was that the Lord got Mary pregnant. You never read that. You were told that. You never read in the Bible about a Trinity, three being in one. You were told that. You learned you never read in the Bible Jesus being God. No, you were told that. You learned Christianity before you ever read the Bible, because if you read the Bible, you would have never came to those conclusions. Okay? So I'm just saying that right here in verse 36. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Verse 37, thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I mean, if somebody can go and measure space, you know what I mean? They talk about from here to the center of the galaxy is like 40 billion light years. It's impossible, right? If heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, meaning that they have the ability to go and search out the depths of the core of the earth, which is impossible. You understand? I will also cast off the seed of Israel. That's what the Christians say, that we're cast off because we denied Christ. I mean, wasn't Peter an Israelite? Wasn't James an Israelite? Wasn't John an Israelite? Wasn't Andrew an Israelite? You understand? Wasn't the sisters that was weeping over Christ, weren't they Israelites? You know, it wasn't all of Israel that denied Christ or didn't believe on him. It was the religious leadership, the Sadducees and Pharisees and the scribes. You know what I'm saying? The builders who rejected, you know what I'm saying, the stone. And that stone has now become the head corner, right? The chief cornerstone. It was the leadership. This was a power struggle. It wasn't about the people. And, you know, even if you had some people that did deny him that was of a poor, you know what I mean, status, it was because they were influenced by the leadership. That's the danger of poor leadership. You know, like Captain Kahan always says, because the fish rots from the head. It's going to impact the rest of the, you know what I'm saying, of the people. You understand? But the Lord, even for those that were deceived by the, you know, that generation of vipers, those serpents, the leadership that was in league with Rome, there were still Israelites that believed on Christ. Who was Stephen? Who was Apollos? Who was Paul and Barnabas and Silas? Timothy. You understand? These were Israelites. So no, the Lord is like it's saying here, Jeremiah is saying, then I will also, well, Jeremiah is saying, speaking for the Lord, I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Meaning that if, you know, it's impossible. That's what he's saying. It's impossible. You can't erase us. You can't erase so-called Negroes, you know what I mean, Hispanics and Native Indians. You try to. You want to call us African Americans. You understand? You want to put us on reservations. You want to try to ship us out by the thousands to different countries and prisons. But you can't erase us from before the Lord, man. And, you know, Salakia, let's get back to it. Verse 12. Exodus 28:12. And thou shalt put the two stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones, and for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. A memorial is talking about memory. Like, you know how they have Memorial Day for, like, the, you know, here in America, which is if you celebrate that, then you're committing a sin. You know what I mean? They have a day of memorial for people that were enlisted in the U.S. military. But you know the U.S. military helped to slaughter over 70 million Native Americans, right? You know the U.S. military went to war with the Hispanics in Mexico, our Issacharite brothers. You know the U.S. military also enforced our slavery when slavery was legal here in America. So there's no reason, if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, even if you were in the military, for you to be celebrating that. The only memorial you should be celebrating is the armies that came up out of Egypt, the memorial for the children of Israel, and whatever victories that the Lord gave us against our enemies, against these other nations, other races. You understand? The Lord wants us to remember us. Put your people first. Think about your people first. All right. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his two shoulders for a memorial. So when Aaron, he was designated as the while he was alive as the high priest, he would go into the I believe it was either him or Moses. He would go into the most holy place, and he would bear the names of the children of Israel. Why? Because he would represent the nation. That's why he would have the stones on him. All right, before the Lord. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of the wreathen work. Wreathen just means like the tapestry, right? Thou shalt make them and fasten them with the wreathen chains to the ouches. Wreathen just means braided. When we were reading the Hebrew, that's what it was meaning. It was meaning braided. All right. Verse 15, and thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod shalt thou make it of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen. Thou shalt make it. 4 square it shall be. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. Verse 17, and thou shalt set it in the setting of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. Verse 19, in the third row shall be a sapphire or liqueur, but it means sapphire, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, a onyx, and a jasper, and they shall be set in gold in their enclosings. What does this mean? Y'all see how like people that believe in like zodiacs and all that stuff, and zodiac signs for their birth month, right? There's a stone associated with it. And there's 12 months in a year. They stole that from us. Everything that you see in this world that's been twisted and turned into something, different, it was taken from us. Each of these stones represented the 12, one of the 12 tribes. Each tribe had a stone, whether it was beryl, sapphire, amethyst, agate, carbuncle, right, jasper. They took that from the 12 tribes, and then they try to make it into some type of zodiac thing, connecting it with the stars because they worship the host of heaven. You understand? But we don't do that. You understand? The Lord wanted us, again, these stones representing us, he wanted us to remember us and who our covenant was with, who are the contract that we had with our power. All right? Salakia. Let's get back to the rest. One second. All right. Exodus 28 and 18. Why hata hatara Salakia. Why hata wara ha shanya napak sapayara wa yahal wa yahilayim wa yahilayim wa hata wara ha shalai yeshaya lasham shabawa wa kala ma. Exodus 28 and 20. Salaki. All right, Salaki. Waha Tawara, Ha, Arabai, Tharash, Yesha, Washaham, Wa Yashapa, Ma Shabaya Salakia, Ma Shabatazayam, Zahab, Yaha Yawa, Ba Malawa Atham. Exodus 28:21. Wa Ha'abanyam. Tahaya Ya. All Shamath Banya Yasha'ala Shatayam Aisha Ra All Shah Matayam Shalakia Shah Matam Pata Wakaya Hawatam Ayash All Shamawa Thahaya Ya La Shanya Aishara Shabbat Shabbat Shabbat. Exodus 28:22. Wa'ai Shayath. All. Ha Kashan. Sharasheth. Gabalath. Ma'aisha. Ibath. Zahab. Tahawar. Exodus 28:23. Wa'aishayath. All. Ha Kasan. Shataya. Taba Iwath. Zahab. Wanatha. Ath. Shataya. Hata Ba'aiwath. All. Shanya. Quatazawath. Ha Kasan. Exodus 28:24. Wanathaha, Ath, Shathaya, Ibatha, Hazahab, All, Shathaya, Hatah Ba'ith, All, Quatazawath, Ha Kasan. Exodus 28:18 in English. The second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. Hold on. Salaki, y'all. You don't need to go. Oh, Salaki, I can keep going. Salaki. Verse 25. Wa'ath. Shataya, Quatazawath, Shataya, Ha'ai Bata, so like Hayabatha, Thathan, All, Shataya, Hama Shabatazawath, Wanath, Taha, Wanatha, All, Kata, Pawath, Ha Apad, All, Mawal, Panyawa. Verse 26. Wa'ai Shayath, Shataya, Taba'aiwath, Zahab, Wa Shemath, Atham, All, Shenya, Quatazawath, Ha Kasan, All, Shapathaiwa, Ashar, All, Ibar, Ha Apad, Bayathayu, Bayathaya. Verse Exodus 28:27. Wa'aishayath, Shataya, Taba'aiwath, Zahab, Wa Nathaitha, Atham, All, Shataya, Kata Pawath, Ha Apad, Salakia, Ha Apawad, Ha Apawad, Ma Lamai Taha, Ma Mawal, Panyaiwa, La'aimath, Maka Karathwa, Ma'ail, Lakaishab, Lakashab, Ha Apawad. Exodus 28:28. Waya Rakaisawa, Ath, Ha Kasan, Ma Taba'aithayawa, All, Taba'aith, Ha Ha'ipad, Bapathyo, Kakailath, Salakia, Thakailath, Lahai Yawath, All, Hashab, Ha'apawad, Wala'a, Yazakah, Ha Kasan, Salakia, Ha Kashan, Ma'al, Ha'a Pawa'ad. Salakia, Exodus 28:21. And the stone shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12. According to their names, like the engravings of a signet, everyone with his name shall they be according to the 12 tribes. This is talking about even on the stones that they chose, their names will be engraved on the stones that represented each tribe. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains at the ends of the wreathen work of pure gold, and thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shalt put the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate, and thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings where are on the ends of the breastplate, and the other 2 ends of the wreathen chains thou shalt fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder piece of the ephod before it, and thou shalt make 2 rings of gold, and thou shalt put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate in the border thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And the other 2 rings of gold thou shalt make, and shalt put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. That word is intricately woven band. Curious. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. All right. Salakia. All right, verse 29. In the Hebrew. Wa Nashaya, Wa Shanaya, Wa Nashaya, Aharon, Ath, Shamawath, Banya, Yasha'ala, Ba, Kashan, Ha, Mashapat, All, Labawa, Ba, Ba'awa, All, Hakwadash, La, Zakaran, La Penya, Yahweh, Tamayad, or Thamyad, excuse me. Wa Natha, Wanatha, All, Kashan, Ka, Kashan, Ha, Mashapat, Ath, Ha, Owarayim, Wa'ath, Ha, Thamayim, Wahayowa, All, Lab, Aharon, Ba, Ba'aiwa, Lapanya, Yahweh, Wanasha'a, Aharon, Ath, Mashapat, Banya, Yasha'ala, All, Labawa, Lapanya, Yahweh, Thamayad, or Thamayad, excuse me. Exodus 28:31. Wa'ai Shaya Ath, Ma'ayah, Ha, Apawad, Kalayah, the Kyla. Exodus 28:32. Waha Yaha, Paya, Ra'aishawa, Batai Waka, Salakia, Batai Wakawa, Shapa, Yahai, La Payawa, Sabi, Salakia, Sa Bayab, Ma'aisha, Arag, Kapaya, the Kaira, Yaha, Lawa, La'a, Yakwa, Ra'ai. Verse 33, Wa'ai Shayath, All Shawa, Layawa, Ramah, Naya, the Lath, Thakalath, Wa, Gora, Salakia, Wa'a, Ragai man. Wata wala'aith. Shanya. All. Shawa layawa. Sabah. Sabayub. Wapa. Wapa'ai manaya. Zahab. Bata wakam. Sabayub. Verse 30, Exodus 28 and 34. Pa'aiman Zahab. Wara Mawan. Pa'aiman Zahab. Wara Mawan. All. Shawa Laya. Hama'ai Yo. Sabah Yub. Exodus 28 and 35. Waha Yaha. All Aharon. Lasharath. Wana Shema'ai. Kwawa Lawa. Ba'awa. All Hakwadash Lapanya Yahweh. Wabataza Athawa. Wala'ah. Yamawath. All right. Exodus 28, 29 to 35 in the Hebrew. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he goeth in unto the holy place, a memorial before the Lord continually. Once again, Aaron is going in as a representation or as a representative for the nation of Israel when he's dealing with the Most High in the most holy place. And thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord, and Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all of blue, and there shall be a hole in the top of it, in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of a habergeon. I want to say a habergeon is like a weapon. Let me look that up real quick. That word. I don't like going past words I don't know. So y'all hold on a second. Actually, I can look it up on here too. Hold on a second. Okay. Show this real quick. So this is a habergeon. I'm gonna get an image of it. Okay, so this is it right here. Y'all can see that it's like what knights would wear. That's what I'm saying. Y'all say when we have our garments that we don't look like the priests of the Bible. Like that's exactly what they had on. This is what he's describing. He's saying it'll be it as it were the whole of a habergeon, that it be not rent, meaning that it's gonna be all together, so it doesn't come apart. But that's what Aaron was wearing. You know what I'm saying? No sweat. Verse 33, and beneath the hem of it thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. Verse 34, a golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth in unto the holy place before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he dieth not. So what this is talking about is that, and I think I mentioned this in the previous Sabbath service, they would put bells on the garment of the high priest, because if he went in there and the Lord killed him, they wouldn't hear the bells ringing anymore. It was a way for them to know if he could come, if he was alive or not. You understand? And he's saying that the garment got to be structured this way so you don't die. Like, you got to follow all the Lord's instructions and orders to stay in compliance. You understand? But the bells were on there because if the high priest went inside of there and for whatever reason the Lord took them out, they wouldn't hear the bells moving anymore. They would know to go in there and get them, because otherwise they couldn't go in there. So that was the point of that. All right. Let's get back to Exodus 28 and 36 in the Hebrew. Let me see. Okay. Salakia. All right. Exodus 28:36 in the Hebrew. Wa'ai shayath tazayataz zahab tahawar wapath wapa salakia wa thakath I layawa patai wakaya ktham kodash Yahweh. Wa shemath athawa all patayo takalath waha yaha all ha mataza ha mataza napath all mawa all panya ha mataza napath yahai. Exodus 28 and 38. Wahai yahai wa yahai wa haya all matazaka salakia matazaka aharan wanasha aharan oth iwan ha quadashium ashar yakwa dayashawa banya yasha'ala lakal matanath quadashium wa hayaha all mataza kaiwa tam salakia tamyad lara tazawan laham lapanya Yahweh. Exodus 28 and 39. Washab taza'ath salakia washab tazata haka tanath shasha wa'ai shayath ma tazanapath shasha wa'a banat salaki wa'a banat the Aisha Ma'aisha Raquam salaki Raquium. Exodus 28 and 40. Salakia. Wala Panya Aharan the Aisha Katanath Wa'ai Shayath Laham Abanatyum Wama wa Maka Salakia, wa maga ka'aiwath, the Aisha, lahum, la kabawad, wa lata pa'ira. Exodus 28:41. Waha labashath, atham, arth, aharon, akaya, salakia, akiaka, wa'ath, banyawa, atawa, wa mashakaitha, wa mashakath, atham, wa malath, ath, yadam, wa quadaishath, atham, wa kahanawa, laya. Exodus 28:42. Wa Aisha, lahum, ma kanai, salakia, ma kanasaya, ba'ad, laka'a sawath, bashar, irawa, ma matainayam, wa'aid, yaka, salakia, yara kayam, yaha yawa. Exodus 28:43. Waha yawa, all aharon, wa'ayo, banai yawa, ba'am, all ahal, ma'awad, awa, bagashtium, all hama zabai, hama bazaka, la sharath, ba quadash, wala'a, yeshaiwa, awan, wamathiwa, hakwath, awalam, la'a, wala zaraiwa, aka rayawa. Right. This is Exodus 28:36 to 43 in the English. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, engrave upon it like the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. And thou shalt put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the mitre. Upon the forefront of the mitre it shall be. So on the mitre would be like a signet saying holiness to the Lord for the high priest, which is hardcore. Can't say the Most High ain't got flavor, man. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things which the children of Israel shall hallow in all their holy gifts. And it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. It's heavy. It's heavy, man. And thou shalt embroider the coat of fine linen, and thou shalt make the mitre of fine linen, and thou shalt make the girdle of needlework. And for Aaron's sons thou shalt make them coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles and bonnets shalt thou make for them for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother and his sons with him, and thou shalt anoint them and be consecrate them and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches, pants, to cover their nakedness from the loins, even unto the thighs shall they reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar, to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him. All right. And this is Exodus 29:1 in the Hebrew. Wazaha, Hadabar, Ashar, the Aishah, Lahum, Lakwadash, Atham, Lakahan, Laya, Lakwa, Salakia, La Kwaka, Para, Akkad, Ban, Bakwar, Wa'alam, Salakia, Wa'ayalam, Shanyayim, Tamayai Mayam. Exodus 29:2. Walakayim, Matazawath, Wakalath, Matazath, Balawalath, Bashaman, Wara Kwaya, Matazawath, Mashakyam. Good night. Bashaman, Salath, Katayim, the Taza Shum, Salakit, the Taza, the Aisham, Atham, Salakia. Exodus 29:3. Wanatha, our thumb, all, Saul, Akkad, Waha Korad, Salakia, Waha Korakath, Atham, Basal, Wa'ath, Hapar, Wa'ath, Shanya, Ha Ayalam. Exodus 29:4. Wa'ath, Aharon, Wa'ath, Ba Nayawa, Thakwarayab, all, Pataka, Ahal, Mawa'ad, Wara Kataza, Katazatha, Atham, Ba Mayam. Exodus 29:5. Wala Kwakath, Arth, Ha Bagadayim, Wa Halai Kashath. Salaki no. Wa Halab Shath, Ath, Aharon, Ath, Ha Kathainath, Wa'ath, Ma'ayah, Ha Apad, Wa'ath, Ha Apad, Wa'ath, Ha Kashan, Wa'a Padath, Lawa, Ba Kashab, Ha Apad. Exodus 29:6. Wa Shemath, Ha Mataza Napath, all, Ra'ishawa, Wanatha, Ath, Nazar, Hakwadash, all, Ha Mataza Napath. Exodus 29:7. Wa Lakwakath, Wa Lakwa Kata, Ata, Shaman, Ha Mashakai, her, Waya Tazakwath, all, Ra'ashawa, Wama Shakath, Athawa, Exodus 29, verse 1. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them, meaning to basically to assign to the Lord is saying to do this to assign them to their office, to separate them from the children of Israel. All right. To minister unto me in the priest office, take one young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread and cakes unleavened, tempered with oil and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil of wheaten flour shalt thou make them. And thou shalt put them into one basket, and bring them in the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall wash them with water. And thou shalt take the garments, and put upon Aaron the coat, and the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the curious girdle of the ephod. And thou shalt put the mitre upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mitre. And then shalt thou take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him. Right, we're going to read to verse 16 in the Hebrew. Wa'ath ba nayawa tha kwarayab wa hala bashathium ka thanath. Exodus 29:9. Waka Garath, Atham, Abanat, Aharon, Wa Banayawa, Wa Baish, Wa Salakia, Wa Bashath, Laham. Magah Ba'aith, Waha Yathaya, Laham, Kahai Naha. Wait. Kahanha, Lakakwath, Awalam, Wa Mala'ath, Yad, Aharon, Wa Yad, Banyawa. Exodus 29:10. Waha Korab Salakia, Waha Korab the Ath, Hapar, Lapanya, Ahal, Mawad, Wa Samak, Wa Samak, Aharon, Wa Banyawa, Ath, Yad Yaham, All, Ra'ash, Hapar. 29:11. Washah Kataith, Ath, Hapar, Lapanya, Yahweh. Pa Thaka, Ahal, Mawad. Exodus 29:12. Wala Kwakath, Madam, Hapar, Wanathaha, All, Quaranath, Ha Mazabah, Ba Ataza Ba Salakia, Ba Ataza Ba'aika, Wa'ath, Ka'al, Hadam, Da Shapak, All, Yawasad, Yasalaki, Ya Sawad, Hamar Zabak. Exodus 29:13. Wala Kwakath. Ath. Call. Ha Kalab. Ha Makaisa. Ath. Ha Kwarab. Wa'ath. Hayath. Hayath Ra'ath. No. Hayath Ratha. All. Hakabad. Wa'ath. Shataya. Hakah Layath. Wa'ath. Ha Kalab. Ha Kalab. Ashar. I Layatain. Salakia. I Layatan. Wa Hakwa Takath. Ha Mazab Mazabah Kaha. Exodus 29:14. Wa'ath. Bashar. Hapar. Wa'ath. Irawah. Wa'ath. Parashwa. Thasharap. Ba'ash. Makai Wataza. Lama Kanath. Kata Kata'ath. Hawa'ah. Exodus 29:15. Wa'ath. Ha'ayal. Ha'akad. The Quacha. Tha Quaka. Wasa Makaiwa. Aharon. Wa Banyawa. Ah. Yadai Yahum. All. Ra'ash. Ha Ayal. Verse 16. Washakta. Washaka Ta'ath. Ah. Haya'al. Walakwa Kata. Ah. Damawa. Waza Rakwath. All. Ha Mazabaka. Sabayab. All right. Verse 8 to 16. And thou shalt bring his sons and put coats on them. And thou shalt bring his sons and put coats on them, and thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them, and the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute. And thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons, and thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock, and thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung shalt thou burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. Thou shalt also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons, and shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood and sprinkle it round about the altar. Yeah, this is heavy. Heavy. because without the shedding of blood, there's no remission. So the symbolic, what's the symbolism of it is that Aaron wearing the breastplate with the 12 tribes and the stones, and then the Mitri with the signet saying holiness unto the Lord, and then Aaron and his sons, with their headpieces and their robes, and they put their hands on the bullock, and then the bullock gets slayed, and then the blood gets put on the horns of the altar, and blood poured on the base of the altar, which was, I believe, was brazen, made of bronze. As you can see, a priest's work is bloody work, but this represented, the making the offering to the Lord for the nation. And then it said the skin and the dung and the other parts of the bullock that the Lord did not want in the tabernacle was to be burnt outside of the camp, but it was a sin offering, like the waste. It's a heavy thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, like, Christians can't really comprehend the death of Christ. It's like some type of, get away with sin credit card in their mind. But like the shedding of blood, like the Lord does not accept any reconciliation without the shedding of blood. You understand? So the work of a priest was blood work. It was blood and flesh work. You understand? Because it's a life for a life. There had to be a payment had to be made. And this is why Christianity is so deadly, because, like we teach in the ISUPK, they make you feel like your bill is cut, that you don't owe as much as you owe, that you don't owe your life, that you don't your wage ain't death. And so for Christ to come in and pay that wage, and you do the things again that require death, is just, that's why the Christian pastors are such, like, disgusting, filthy individuals, because they're out trying to cut the bill, and the Lord's going to come through, and he's going to want the whole debt, unless you've put your faith in Christ and changed your life and become a new creature, man, and killed yourself, been born again, and put your old man, crucified your old man, and become new. That's what this, in Hebrews, it talks about how much time I got? I got a couple minutes. In Hebrews, it talks about, I think I'm going to go there. I think it's like Hebrews 7. But it's talking about because of the change of the priesthood, there was a necessity of the change of the law. You understand? But Christians think that means that, it's a new law. Like, now Christ is the new law. I just got to love my neighbor and love God. Like, they think that I only got to do two things. But if you love the Most High, then you're going to do what? You're going to keep his commandments. You're going to do all the things that he told you to do to worship him. Right? You can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate Easter. You can't celebrate Valentine's Day, because you're not worshiping the Lord your God. You're worshiping idols and other gods. Right? And if you love your neighbor as yourself, that means that you have to keep the law. You can't steal from him. You can't sleep with his wife. You can't, you can't take his life, unalive him. Right? You got to keep the law. You got to keep the laws. And this is why Christ said, upon these two commandments do all the law hang, meaning that the rest of the law is hanging on those two things. It doesn't mean that the law is removed. It's hanging on it. Them two commandments is like the nail, and then like it's like hanging up a picture, right? If you had two like studs or nails in a wall, and you hung a picture up, you wouldn't say that the picture ain't hanging up, right? It's just those two things are holding up that picture, or holding up that picture, that frame. So the law is the picture, and those two commandments is what holds it up. So if something is held up in your home, or pictures up in your home, it's something for you to look at. It's something for you to think about. It's when you walk in, you see that all the time, and you know that this is only being upheld by these two nails, these two things: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. It's a summation of all of the law. It's not saying that I'm not under this no more. I ain't got to do this no more. Right? It's just these Christians, man, it's something else, man. Salakia. Let me get this in Hebrews, and then we're gonna close out because that was the last. That was the last of the portion for the Sabbath service. All right, we stopped at 29 and 16. Let me get this real quick in Hebrews, man. Come on now. Here we go. Let me find this. Yeah, here we go. Hebrews chapter 7. I'm going to start at. This is talking about Melchizedek. I don't want to read the whole chapter. Hold on. I don't want to read the whole chapter, but this chapter 7 is dealing with Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? He was a king and priest of Salem, Shalem, right? Meaning the king of peace and a priest and a king of righteousness, right? Melchizedek. And this is who Abraham, after Abraham got he got the W, he slaughtered the 5 kings, right? And got his family back. I think he took like 300 and some odd men with him and went up against like 5 kings that had like, it said the armies was like grasshoppers on the seashore, right? Or upon the face of the earth, like just everywhere. And he took them out and got his people back. Picture like Navy SEAL style. That's how he went in at night. You know what I'm saying? It was a tactical feat, and the Lord gave him that victory. So he took 1/10 of the spoils, and when he saw Melchizedek, he paid tithes to Melchizedek, okay, who was a priest of God. All right. So Melchizedek had a priesthood. And if you know if you have the understanding, if you've been in class, you understand that Melchizedek made an appearance. You understand? And this was also a representation of Christ. It was Christ as he made an appearance. Christ made an appearance as Melchizedek. All right. Meaning, and why is that? Because Christ's priesthood is what's the word? It supersedes the priesthood of Levi. You understand? Because originally, like I said, I will go find it, but the Lord had made us a nation of priests. You understand? And that was his original intention, that all the tribes would be priests. But because of, what went down in the wilderness, Levi got chosen and sanctified to do that work. Okay? And then but Abraham had paid tithes to Melchizedek. So this is what Paul is going into, all right? So I'm going to start at verse 4. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the 10th of the spoils. Verse 5, and verily they that are of the sons of Levi who received the office of the priesthood. We just read that. That's what we just read about the killing of the bullocks, the oil on their head, the anointing oil, all that, right? We just read that in Exodus. And verily they that are of the sons of Levi who receive the office of the priesthood have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law. That is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham. Right? Meaning that what Paul is saying is they come out of the same loins of Abraham as their brothers do, but they were set apart, to do the office of the priesthood. This is what Paul is saying. But he whose descent is not counted from them, right? Melchizedek, who's not counted as being from that family, right? Received tithes of Abraham and blessed him that had the promises. Who had the promises? Abraham had the promises. What was the promise? Rulership. To get the land that Adam lost back. The Garden of Eden, which is Israel, which is bigger than what they show on the maps now. You understand? You just got to think about them 4 rivers and how, the Tigris, Euphrates, and them other rivers, and how big the area was. The garden was a large place, filled with a lot of different nations, all right? And when Adam lost his position, those other nations came and, they took over that area. So this promise was given to Abraham to get this, for his seed that the Lord promised him, because he said, in and Isaac shall thy seed be called. Those are who I will establish my covenant with forever. All right. So this is the promise that Abraham was given. Paul goes into this in Romans as well. and without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. Meaning that, in our culture, in our school, that when somebody gets a rank raised, they're raised up by somebody who outranks them. So the less is blessed of the better, right? So like, for y'all who like when we go like to Passover and brothers want to go get their marriages blessed, they go to, either General Mayak might conduct it, or General Mahaiman, or Commanding General Yohana. The less, or the person, I don't mean like, like you're less than, like in terms of like, in a negative way, but meaning that the person that has the authority and the authority, they are going to bless the person who's who's in under rank, or has less rank, okay, or position of authority, less authority. All right, we'll keep reading. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he receiveth them of whom it is witness that he liveth. Meaning that this Melchizedek, he wasn't going to die. All right, keep reading. And as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. So now check this out. What Paul is saying is something heavy. He's saying that Levi, who received tithes of his brethren, because, you know what I'm saying, you never heard of Levi paying tithes. I mean, he did it on behalf of the nation, but it wasn't like, because Levi didn't have an inheritance. Levi didn't own any land. He didn't have any herds and things of that nature. So him paying the tithes, Levi paying tithes, was paying the tithes from the people. But he's saying in the loins of Abraham, he paid tithes to Melchizedek. What does that mean? Him paying tithes to Melchizedek meant that his priesthood was under the authority of Melchizedek's priesthood. That's what it's saying in a nutshell. That Melchizedek outranked him because he paid tithes, and Abraham, he was in the, for lack of a better term, he was in the nutsack of Abraham in his loins, and through Abraham he paid tithes to Melchizedek, which means that Melchizedek's priesthood was superior. Okay. All right, and was he yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him? If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, right? Under the Levitical priesthood, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? He's breaking down the distinction in priesthoods and why the law changed. Not that the laws of God changed, but who would be the priesthood? That was a law, because remember he said this, like Aaron and his sons and Levi, that was a statute forever, right? The Lord put that on, he laid that down, and it couldn't be broken. But Paul's showing how the priesthood changed, how the law changed, that law. Verse 12, for the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. Why? Because the Lord had said it was a law that Aaron and his, the so-called Haitians, Aaron and Levi, they would be the priests forever. So for that to change, he had to change the law. Only the Lord could do that, right? This is why Christians got to show in the law why they can come into the covenant. There's no law that shows that. You can't change the law without the Lord changing it. You understand? Because he gave it. He made it. All right. Verse 13, for he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar, meaning that no other tribe did service at the altar of God. We saw just who did it, right? Who was ordained to do it. Verse 14, for it is evident that our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, Christ, sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Judah was not mentioned as being a priest or of the priesthood. Now, I believe Judah is mentioned when it speaks about the scepter shall not leave from between Judah's feet. Now, the king being the kingship or the rulership of the was mentioned, but not the priesthood. Okay. Verse 15, and yet it is far more evident that For that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest. This is showing you how this was the spirit of Christ that made an appearance as Melchizedek. This is Paul telling you, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Paul always talked about, you know what I mean, regeneration and the resurrection. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, like Peter said, a lot of people don't understand Paul. You understand? Because they haven't been taught. If you want to be taught, just come to class. ISUPK.com. In any city that you in, get in class, ask your questions. And these things can be broken down to you. You understand? Because it says the Bible says that the secret things belong unto the Lord, but those things which have, you know, that have been revealed, you know what I mean, unto the children of Israel. You know what I mean? That they may keep and do them, like the statutes and the commandments. Those things have been revealed to us. All right. Verse 16. Who was made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. Now, what does this mean? Christians will say a carnal commandment, like, you know, us paying tithes or us going to the feast days or us not eating pork, that those are carnal commandments. That's not what this is talking about, man. This is why, like, you know, you can't just go into the New Testament and read things and then try to come and use those understandings and apply it to the, you know what I mean, to the, you know, to the law and the prophets. Carnal or flesh is not they look at it as like, you know, if you're like, you know, if you out the spirit, you being carnal. Yeah, that is a definition of carnal. But what this is talking about is that the carnal commandment was that nobody else could be a priest unless you were of Levi, meaning that you couldn't be of the tribe of Zebulun and Asher and say, I want to be a priest. Because there was a carnal commandment saying that unless your father was of the tribe of Levi, or even if your father was not you were not of the house of Aaron, you couldn't serve in the holy place, in the most holy place. You couldn't do it. It was a carnal commandment, meaning that a commandment according to flesh, meaning that only people of this tribe of this family could serve in as a priest. This is what it's talking about, a carnal commandment. But after the power of an endless life, meaning that he didn't come from the 12, Melchizedek didn't come from the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Meaning that he made an appearance as like, you know, as you would consider like an Elohim, right? A power. He wasn't born of a man, of father and mother. He didn't descend from that. But Christ came in that similitude. You understand? Not saying that Christ wasn't not born of a man. Joseph was Christ's father. But Christ, when Christ dying and then him being resurrected, that's what it's referring to. That his authority is based off of, you know what I'm saying, the Most High bringing him back from death and him having an endless life. You understand? All right. Verse 17, for he testifieth. This is what the Most High said about Christ in the book of Psalms through, you know what I mean, the spirit of Christ and David. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment, meaning that the only way that this commandment could be disannulled was by something that preceded it. You understand? Meaning that the only thing that could disannul Levi's as being the only priesthood was, you know, something that preceded that, which is Melchizedek, which was Christ who made an appearance as him, right? For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before for the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw near unto God. So I'm going to read this verse 20, and then we'll up to like, I'll stop at 21. And inasmuch as not without an oath, he was made priest. For those priests were made without an oath. Why? Because their fathers were priests. They didn't have to make an oath to the Lord. It was already spoken by the Lord that they would be priests off GP, general principle. The fact that the Lord said it was law. But with Melchizedek, the order of Melchizedek, it's by oath. So all of us who say we are priests and prophets of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, under Commander General Yohana, we have to make an oath before the Lord. That's the order of Melchizedek. That's the order that we're in. That's the priesthood that we're in. You understand? For those priests were made without an oath, but this with an oath by him that said unto him, the Lord swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. By so much was Yahushua made a surety of a better testament. And they truly were many priests because they were because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death, meaning that you had to continue to replenish the priesthood because they would get old and they would die, right? But this man, because he continues forever, hath an unchangeable priesthood, meaning that Christ dying and the Most High resurrecting him, us who come under Christ, we're a part of a priesthood that's awalum, that's forever. Okay, so with that, unless I don't see what's going on. Okay, shalom, Lynn. How you doing? I don't know if that's a brother or I'm assuming Lynn is a sister, but if it's a brother, Salakia. If you a brother, shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. If you a sister, shalom Yahweh Shemar Latham Ba Shem Yahushua. For the brothers, we say, you know, the Lord bless you in the name of Yahushua. And then for the sisters, we say, the Lord watch over you in the name of Yahushua. Okay, so I don't know if you a female or not, but you know, shalom to you. All right. And I want to educate you real quick, Lynn. Shabbat shalom means rest in peace. Just letting you know the language that you're using. I know, you know, you're not in the school and maybe they're not really teaching you like original Hebrew, but when you say, and I'm not saying this to like demean you or anything like that. I'm just trying to educate you on the Hebrew. That's what we do in Sabbath service. Also on Fridays, if you tune in, we have the Lashawan Kodash class, which is the holy tongue, Lashawan tongue, and Kodash meaning holy, the holy tongue, where we teach the Hebrew. It's taught by Officer Kalkazai. He's an excellent priest, excellent teacher, and it's set up on Fridays because, you know, that's when, you know, the Sabbath begins, and then it's to prepare you to be able to go into the Hebrew with the priest or the teacher on that Saturday when Sabbath service is conducted. But Shabbat Shalom means you know, or rest in peace. That's basically what it means. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's better just to say shalom. You know what I'm saying? That shalom is that's a mispronunciation of shalom. But, you know, just to say shalom is fine. We don't, and also too, in our culture, we don't pronounce days. You understand? So, you know, like and I get it, you know, we've been raised in amongst heathens, and it's kind of been entrenched in our psychology, where we'll say things like, you know, before we came into the truth, we'll say things like happy birthday, or happy this, happy that, happy Mother's Day, right? Happy Father's Day, right? So people will be like, you know, happy Sabbath. That's not our culture. That's the culture of the heathens that we're surrounded by. We don't say happy Sabbath. And happy in Hebrew is not that anyway. You know what I mean? That's not, you know. The point is that the salute that you want to give somebody, or the greeting you want to give somebody, is to bless your fellow Israelite brothers and sisters, right? For the brothers, for the Akim, right? You know, Yam is just the plural for Ak, brothers. You know what I mean? For the brothers, it's Shalom, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Shai, Barakatah. All right. And for the sisters, it's Shalom, Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Alatham, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shai. Bahashim, in the name of Yahweh Shai, is, you know, who the world knows is Christ. You know what I mean? Or they call Jesus, right? So I just want to go ahead and do that. But shout out to you, Lynn. You understand? Lord allow us, you know, you'll tune back in with us. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end right there. We're gonna go close out. So I Imajim, Sar Wahakwadum, which means to stand, turn, and face the east. Torah. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brak Yah. La Yasha'ala, which means to Israel. Do the prayers. It's the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malawaka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakum, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Taba'ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hayashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalatwa, Waha'ala, Wahata Para, La'ai Walamium, Aman, in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. This is the prayer of the power of the Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Baba Koshah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Matawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha Matazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwiyum, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawa, Hata Ma'ala, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Tawada Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. It's the prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha'ala, Waha Bayasaparium, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Tawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha Ayanya, Al-Haharium, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a Azariah, Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Ra'ai, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'ata, Wa'aid, Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, Wa-Al-Thashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Awayabaka, Yahama Yawan, Wa-Mashanayaka, Sha'a Wa-Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya'arayam Wa-Sawad, Wayatayatazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakyadum, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Na'atazawa, Lab Yakadwa, Alyaka, Barya, Yakarthwa, Ahalya, Adawam, Wa Yashama Alyum, Ma Wa'aba, Wa Hagarium, Gabal, Wa Amawan, Wa Amalak, Palashaf, Am Yashavya, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam Hayawa, Zarawai, Labinya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadian, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabian, Banakar, Kwayashwan, Na Shamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ira, Hayawa, Daman La Adama, Shayathamwa, Na Dayabwa, Na Dayabmawa, Ka'arab, Wakaza Aba, Wakazabak, Wakatazamanai, Kal Nasakamwa,
Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarasha, Lanawa, Af Nawa, Alahayim, Salakia, Af Na'awa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Taba'ara Ira, Waka Lahaba, Thalahat, Haryum, Khan, Tharadatma, Basa Irika, Wa Basawapafka, Tha Balahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wa Yabawa, Aya'ai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Wa Yadaiwa, Kaya Atha Shamka, Yahawa Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. In the English, Psalms 83, keep not thy silence, O power, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, and fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. This is the prayer of the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabaya, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapium, Ha Saranium, Ha Quatazayanium, Ha Kayalim, Wa Ha Akwapian, Yahweh, Ba Shem Yahweh Shai, the Wada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, and the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it.
to give a courtesy salute to the Akim, to the brethren, men of Israel. I Majim Shabbat. I Majim Barak. Yahal Bashim Yah Shah Brakatah. Yazamata, Sar, turn, face the sisters, men of Israel. I Majim Shabbat. I Majim Barak. Yahweh Shemal Atam Bashim Yahweh Shah. Yazamata, class dismissed.